Welcome to November's Rest and Relaxation session. My name is Shelly Maxwell, and I'm a EAP counselor with Ascension, Wisconsin EAP. And so glad you can join us. As you know, or maybe you don't know, we have been offering these R&R sessions the first Wednesday of every month since, golly, 2021, maybe 2020. And these are recorded and they are saved to our YouTube channel. If you search us up on Ascension, Wisconsin EAP, you will find all of the R&R sessions. We've got a playlist there, as well as all our other presentations. We try really hard in EAP, since it is a benefit available to you and your family members, free of charge, that we try to give you lots of ways to benefit from having us as your benefit. So it doesn't always mean having to come in and schedule sessions with us. You can join us for our lunch and learns that are hosted every other month, the monthly R&R sessions. And on the YouTube channel, we've got all our previous presentations on there too. So it is a wealth of information there. So I am located in Oshkosh, and this is where I see clients both virtually and in my office and on site for companies that contract with us. I have colleagues throughout the state, and we provide free to you and confidential counseling. So let's get started. It's November already. Oi. Uh, so have you noticed that with the time change, we get to experience the day a little bit differently? What I've noticed is I get to enjoy the sunrises again. Usually, with the summer, they're so early. And especially on the weekends when we might be up north at the lake, I snooze through them. And of course, the sunrises at the lake are the ones you really want to enjoy. So I've been enjoying that. Um, the leaves, right? So I was wondering, for you all, uh, in the fall, what are some things that you enjoy that you don't get to enjoy throughout the year? And you might just take a moment here to scan your memory to be like, what is it that's been causing me to stop and pause, right? We talked about that last month, finding time to pause and how the seasons offer us different opportunities to pause. And often it is the fall colors, the foliage, this time of year. But what else? What else might be causing you to take a pause and just soak it all in? Really come into the radical moment. It's being aware of these radical moments that help us do the emotional heavy lifting. And that's one of the reasons I'm bringing it up this month, because we're moving into the season of gratitude, right? November gratitude, December is typically the gift giving. And the gratitude really came back when we were more of an agrarian society, certainly around Oshkosh and in Wisconsin. It can still feel very agrarian, right? The agriculture, people seeing all the combines and people harvesting the bounty of what grew over the summer and wanting to share it and giving thanks. Yeah, my caseload is very full right now of folks who are coming in because the holidays are hard, right? It might be different this year. Maybe the holidays are always hard. There can be a lot of triggers around the holidays because of the history, right? Whether it was a one-time thing that happened that was miserable or it's recurring. And as my grandmother would say, when she would tell me, Shelley, don't let it steal your joy. But sometimes these stressors or triggers do have the potential to steal our joy. And I'd like to offer a couple of strategies today to help you be able to experience some joy, right? Some moments of ease, maybe peacefulness, to help you with the emotional heavy lifting. And that emotional heavy lifting might be, the next 2 months. It might be for a moment on one of the days. Like, for instance, my son's not coming home from college, right? It's hitting me a little bit harder than I expected. It's the first time. Uh, and I'm going to see him, and like his semester ends really early. I'm going to see him in a couple of weeks. But it's the tradition, it's the rituals we have around this time of year. We're going to be switching it up a little bit. And so my partner, he was talking about some plans for Thanksgiving. Not my cup of tea for the whole day. It's going to be time limited. All right, there's another skill. But it's just, I'm taking one for the team. And so know that I'm going to be practicing what I preach, and this microdosing of these moments of mindfulness are what I'm going to rely on during that time where I'm taking one for the team, right? Because he takes plenty of uh, moments for the team on my end, right? So it's time to reciprocate, and I'm going to show up and be gracious, right? But I'm also going to be using a lot of skills that I teach my clients. So so let's develop our toolbox here and collect some snapshots, maybe, right, of moments that we've been enjoying. I realized yesterday during microdosing some mindfulness while I was driving into the office that fall is the only season where I enjoy cloudy days. I usually really dread them and have to use my skills to get out of that dread. But oh my gosh, yesterday everything just was glowing, right? With the clouds just helped highlight the colors in the trees. And I had this, well, one of my clients, a teenager, when I told her this, she was like, "Oh, that's so cute." But I was like, it's like the 4th of July. Like I'm going from one tree to the next, like, oh my gosh, that one's my favorite. Oh, I love that one, right? Just like I do with the fireworks. But it's like for how many weeks we've been enjoying this in Wisconsin. It's been a long show of color. So let's settle back into our seats a bit, right? And let's move into our uh, some of our guided imagery and grounding. And because the amygdala, the part of the brain that is dreading and detecting threat and protecting us and creating stress in the body, tension, it interacts. Your eyes are wired directly to the amygdala. I've been saying to clients lately, the eyes are part of the brain. It's kind of gross, but the eyes are the visible part of the brain. And so we need to use our eyesight. We need to use our senses to help ground and redirect the amygdala away from the scary or the taking one for the team or the dread and bring it to something pleasant, right? It might be a mental photograph. It might be a photograph that you put right in front of you, right? It might be a song that you hum or have playing in the back of your head or in the background. Anything that's related to your sensory experience is so helpful to the amygdala to get out of the scary, the worst case scenario thinking and into the radical moment. Okay. That's why I'm often saying bring both feet to the floor. Feel the sensations of your feet on the floor. Okay. Feel the weight of your body sinking into your chair. All of this calms the amygdala, makes it realize this radical moment is safe. I don't need to waste energy dreading something that's going to happen 3 weeks from now. In this moment is beautiful, is fabulous, right? I don't need to dread it until it's actually happening, and then I'm going to use my skills to lighten the dread, right? So bring in bring in whatever sensory experience you want to use right now. And if you need to close your eyes, go right ahead. I created this or didn't create, I provided this image if that's easier for you to focus on this one. Okay. And what I'd like you to do is go within. All right. What sensations, once you find something that brings you pleasure, okay, what are the sensations in the body that you experience? Okay, so take a moment here and really register whatever sensations you experience when you think about something pleasant or experience it. Okay. It's pretty immediate, the biochemical response. When the amygdala realizes there's safety, it turns off the cortisol and the adrenaline, and it activates the mammalian part of our brain and releases a lot of endorphins. So we might even start to feel tingly because the blood vessels are opening and we're getting more blood flow. Okay. Sometimes when you're like, I just have chills thinking about it, it's like more of a tingly. Um, you might notice something that happens with your breath. Does it feel deeper or lighter? Is it starting to slow down and become more smooth and even in its rhythm? You might notice your muscles just start to relax a bit. Maybe not in the whole body, but you might notice it in the face, right? Your temples, your forehead, your jaw, maybe even your tongue, your throat. And start to think about what feelings emotionally come about from these physical sensations, right? And this is what starts to bridge us to gratitude, right? There might be a sense of contentment, and that's when you know the endorphins are really flowing because you start to feel a sense of ease and contentment. And it's okay if it doesn't feel that way overall, if you're in a really bad situation. But in this moment, it is possible to experience that if you allow yourself. Okay, there's no conditions with this. Nobody's gonna try to, there's no strings attached. Okay, so take a moment here and settle into the stillness. You might even bring these deeper sensations and feelings into the breath, like as if you could drink it in, right? When I think of yesterday and just being in such awe of just the trees just so gorgeous, like like they're a nightlight almost. I can it's like it's tea or something to bring in, right? And let it settle into the bones here, deep into your bones. It can be a healing elixir. And let's bring more awareness into your bones, okay? Into the body, the feet that are planted on the floor. And there's different parts of the feet. There's the heels, the outer edges, the balls of the feet, each individual toe. They each have their own personality. They take on a different load. You look at the calluses that each of the toes might have or not have, right? The inner arches of your feet. And then let's start to move through the body scan of the ankles, the inner and outer ankles, the lower legs, the shin bone, the calf muscles in the back, the knees, the front of the knees, the sides, outer edge of or outer knee, the inner knee, the back of the knee, the quadriceps and the thighs, the beefy and meaty hamstrings and glutes, the outer hips and the inner groin, the tailbone and the pelvic bowl. And that awareness of your spine connecting here at the pelvis, at the SI joint, and reaching all the way up to the base of the neck, the base of the skull, I should say. Right? And everything in between, the space between the hip points, those lower abdominals, the abdominals, around that navel center. And bring awareness here to the movement in the abdomen with your breath. The inhale, the abdomen opens, it expands. Even the lower ribs float out and expand. And with your exhale, that breath subsides back into the abdomen. The lower ribs float back down. And bring conscious awareness here to the miracle of this movement, of this experience of breathing, filling with breath. All the molecules in the air that nourish us and help us to exist. I just brought in all my plants from the porch because the temperatures are really dropping at night. And so thinking even of the symbiotic relationship I have with the plants, me providing carbon dioxide, them providing oxygen, cleansing the air. Fill the lungs with this beautiful air around you. Coming up into the shoulder girdle, right? The clavicles. We've got the shoulder blades. We've got the collarbones, the shoulder heads, as well as the front of the throat, the sides of the neck, the back of the neck. Bring awareness to the skull and the scalp, your forehead, your temples, the space between the eyebrows, your eyes. Soften the eyes and the eye sockets. Soften the area around the nose, your lips, the cheeks, cheekbones, jawbones, and all the muscles in the mouth. Let them release. And feel a lightness here. And see maybe if you can drink this in and really savor the sense of a deeper relaxation. Coming deeper into the parasympathetic side of your nervous system, the rest and digest. This is lovely to do after you eat, taking a few moments to do a little bit of systematic relaxation. It's really helpful to the gut. It can't really fully digest when you're multitasking while eating and or rushing. Yeah. Good. And let the shoulders drop a little bit deeper. Now we're going to start to come into our chair yoga. And so go ahead and if you need to reposition yourself, go ahead. I typically, as those of you who join us regularly, I scoot to the front of my chair so I have more room to move. And let's go ahead and drop the chin towards the chest and further open up the back of the neck. And what I'm going to be inviting you to do is be aware of wherever you hold tension, right? When you start to dread something and brace yourself, where does that go, right? A lot of times for people, it might be in their neck. So let's go ahead and while the chin is towards the chest, go ahead and bring your fingertips and rub the sides and the back of the neck. Right? You might even move down into the muscles at the upper back and rub them a bit. Where else does your tension go? Go ahead and massage that area. Some of you might go to like your forehead or, oh, my jaw, I really feel it here, like the TMJ, right? Some of you, it might be your hands. How many of you clench, right? Where it's going to be helpful to rub and massage the palms, maybe rub the hands together. These are all ways that we also activate the mammalian part of the brain and get those endorphins really flowing, okay? Might be the belly, right? Sometimes we can feel really nauseous. And when that happens, typically, there's a lot of cortisol, that stress hormone that just did a big old dump. in the belly. And so bringing some circular motions here to the abdomen, or even just bringing your hands, to the heart or to the belly. Could rub our upper arms, right? Because right here we can hold a lot of tension. Lord knows all the dry needling that I've had to do, especially on this one. Whew. Yeah. Okay. Good. And so let's bring our hands to our shoulders and loosen up these shoulders. Do some nice big circles in reverse direction. And then I'm going to throw you a curveball, alternate. One arm comes forward and then the other, and then reverse. Get those neurons firing, new neural connections. Good. Now reach the elbows up, lengthen through the side body. Many of you probably don't know how much tension we actually hold in our side body, our outer hips. So let's go ahead and drop that right elbow down, lift the left shoulder, and then we're going to extend that left arm up. Okay. And then bring the arm, the bicep by the ear. You can keep your right hand towards the shoulder or cross it and clasp the outer left thigh, trying to keep this left arm out of your peripheral vision. And just continue to press deeply into that left hip, engage the core, lift through the heart, lift from the hip all the way through the fingertips. Good. And now start to bring the arm into your peripheral vision. Reach the fingertips towards the corner in front of you and breathe. Good. Reach back up and bring that left arm down. And I forgot something. So let's take a moment here. I want you to release your throat and your breath. And we're going to do that using what's called Ujjayi breath. It's like an ocean breath or the Darth Vader breath. Okay, so you're going to take a breath in, let the belly pooch, and you're going to breathe in through the nostrils. And you're going to constrict the base of the throat so that it makes that Darth Vader sound. And then on your exhale, you release it. Exhale out through the nose as the belly hugs in towards the spine. You might even keep that constriction if you want. And then again, on your inhale, listen for the breath deep in the throat, in the back of the throat. And exhale out. One more time, inhaling. You might notice yourself warming with the Ujjayi breath, the ocean breath. Good. Now I want you to engage that breath next time when we do the side stretch. Okay, so let's bring the hands to the shoulders, lift the elbows back up, engage the core, let the spine be long, crown of the head all the way down to the tailbone, and then drop the left elbow and lift the right. You can stay here or lengthen that right arm up, bringing the bicep towards the ear. Ground that right hip a little bit deeper. Engage the navel center and use your breath. That Ujjayi breath. Go deep. You might close your eyes here. Drink in the breath. You can also bring the left hand to the outside of the right thigh for a deeper stretch here. Let it all go. And then swivel that arm, right arm forward just enough where you feel some sensation through the back side body on the right side. Good. Now cross your arms so that the right arm is on the left thigh and vice versa. And just hug it all in. So hug the navel center, dome the back, reach it towards the back of the room, tuck the chin, come even tighter. And then inhale, reach it up. Open up, open up, open up. Good. Let's do that again, but reverse arms. So the other arm's on top now. Curl it in. Hug that navel center in. Beautiful. And then open it up. Good. Bring your hands to the back of the head. There's so much tension that's held here. So what I'd like you to do is press the back of the skull into your palms. This is going to help release the back of the neck, real up high where it's so hard to get into. And then release. Let's do it again. Press So the palms aren't coming into the head is pressing back, like you're pressing firmly into a headrest. Good. Beautiful. Release the arms. Okay. I'm going to scoot back and we're going to cross our right ankle over the left thigh. So this is a seated figure four pose, or we'd call it pigeon. And let's come into tall, long torso here. It's almost like you're lifting out of the hips, lifting out of the pelvic bowl. And you're welcome to start to hinge forward, trying to keep a flat back. And this is going to get deep into the IT band, the piriformis, the outer hip area. If you start to slump, you're going to lose it. So really try to find some sensation that's not sharp by any means. And it's as if you're bringing the heart forward or the crown of the head, reaching, reaching, reaching. Good. Okay. And then come back up, bring that right foot down and cross. So that left leg, that left ankle crosses over. The foot is off the thigh, so that pointy part of your ankle is not on the muscle. We don't want any pain there. It's more like the side of the lower leg is there. Good. Now again, reach up out of the pelvis and then come forward. Yeah, reach it forward, reach it forward. Hug the navel center in and then come back up. Good. Bring your hands either to the chair behind you, the back, or clasp them, and let's hug the shoulder blades together. Okay. And then release. Good. Roll the shoulders. And again, forward, reversing direction. Okay, so be mindful of these areas. This is another way to microdose. If emotionally the imagery doesn't work, bring awareness into the physical body, okay? And notice where you are holding tension and bring some comfort and touch there, right? Do some massage or mentally focus on that area and bring in that deeper breath. Nobody even knows that you're taking those cleansing breaths. They might hear the ocean breath, but if you're wanting to be discreet, you can do it quietly. Okay. But these are all ways that we can really take care of ourselves, and because nobody else is going to do it for us, really, right? It's our responsibility to do these things for ourselves. So I want to share with you a poem, and let's see if it'll come up. There we go. All right. So I found it on Facebook. Rivers in the Ocean posted it, and it's about joy. Joy lives permanently in the heart. Well, here, let me first say, I'm all out of sync today. Let's come into our little Shavasana. So scoot back to your seat. Let the legs be wide. The arms can hang. Do whatever you need to. And this is the time to be super schlumpy. Okay? Just let go of all good body posture. And you can close your eyes or you can look at this picture I took last time I was up north, the glowing, beautiful trees. And I'll read you joy. Joy lives permanently in the heart, a soft glow, waiting to be noticed. It asks for nothing. It doesn't need your life to be tidy or your heart to be unbroken. Joy only asks to pause, breathe, and see what's right in front of you. This ordinary moment, quietly shining. It's in the warmth of a kind glance, the pause between words, the small pulse of gratitude that says, this right now is enough. May joy be with you through your days, and even when life feels heavy, the joy is still there, waiting to be found. So I hope you can find moments of joy these next couple of weeks and months. Find your pauses, be in the radical moment, and join us next month for the December R&R, right? And we've got a really great lunch and learn planned in December for the holidays. So be sure to check that out. Our R&Rs typically post either at the end of the week, or if there's some complications, then it will be earlier next week. Okay. So if you want to watch this again or send it to folks, please be sure to check it out. I did not take this picture. This was Pixabay, but I love the colors again. If any of you are collecting wellness points, the keyword for today is moments. And here is our contact information. Either email, phone are perfect ways to contact us. And I'm just so delighted that you all joined. And I'm so proud of you for taking the time. Well done. Really, really, really well done. Okay. And we will see each other next month. All right, everyone. You're very welcome. Bye.